Well, hello, family, and welcome to another episode of What Nobody Told Me After 65. Well, it's your girl, lady on the go, lady in the know, Miss Info. You have reached the Information Nation, where knowledge is shared and wisdom exchanged for the betterment of a people. Well, the news is hot and jumping. I told you the other night, I lost some subscribers. See ya, bye. People who don't agree with my opinion, my rhetoric, it's okay. I'm good with that. But I find that I bring information that people haven't had an opportunity to look up for themselves. And that's what I do. So I'm gonna do a video tonight on what is this world coming to. Now, you know, the old people say that all the time. Lord, I don't know what this world is coming to. I decided I wanted to look back and see where had we come from to know what we are coming to. So I'm going to share this with you. I'm not going to get through it all tonight because I looked back over the last 20 years to see if we could or if we were able to make America great again. So when we take a look back at the state of affairs in the United States, are we any better off than we were 20 years ago? And I'm not talking about race relations. We know the state of race relations in the United States. I wanted to see the economy, any scientific advancements, education, climate, human relations, and social interactions. Now, some of that will involve race, but I'm not touching that at all. So, what has transpired from 2004, that takes us back 20 years, up until now? At the time, in 2004, the president was George W. Bush. He was a Republican from Texas. Vice president was Dick Cheney, a Republican from Wyoming. Believe it or not, in 2004, Facebook launched. Janet Jackson's breasts were exposed during Super Bowl, during that halftime game, and the Patriots did win. Same-sex marriage started in Massachusetts and expanded to all 50 states by the year 2015. In May of 2012, the NAACP sanctioned same-sex marriage because they said this was a civil right. The Oklahoma City bomber, what was his name? Jeffrey Nichols. He's convicted. But Timothy McVeigh is executed for his part in it. Ronald Reagan died. In November of that year, George W. Bush is reelected for a second term. In March of 2005, 3 people are murdered in an Atlanta courtroom, including the judge. Terry Ratzeman opens fire in a church in Wisconsin, killing 7, injuring 4, and then taking his own life. Lance Armstrong, he won his 7th Tour de France. 7th. Now that would have gave me a red light. But he won that in 2007. I'm sorry, he won that in 2005, and it took him until 2012 to find him guilty of doping during those races in 2005, where he won the Tour de France. He was disqualified and banned for life. In August of 2005, Hurricane Katrina, 1,800 people are killed. Severe damage at a cost of $108 billion. Also in that year, 150,000 protesters opposed the Iraq War. Then we had the Abu Ghraib prison scandal. Remember that? Miss Rosa Parks dies. Unemployment falls below 5%. It hadn't been that low since 2001, which would have been 4 years earlier. The New York City Transit went on strike for 3 days. 3 days in New York, effectively shutting down all subway and bus service. Angela Johnson is the first woman to be sentenced to death in over 50 years. She murdered 5 people in Iowa. In 2005, we had more than 2.5 million prisoners in the United States. The Bush administration said they were going to spend $114 million on educational programs that would expand the teaching of Arabic, Chinese, and Persian in public schools. Arabic, Chinese, and Persian. Inflation had increased reportedly by the highest amount since 1990. In 2006, General Motors reported an $8.6 billion loss. That's the biggest that they'd had reported since 1992. 7 people are killed by a former employee at a postal facility in California, and the shooter then kills herself. Thus, the term going postal is born. The Steelers win the 2006 Super Bowl. That's my team. AOL agrees to pay customers $25 million to settle claims of wrongful billing. Arnold Schwarzenegger is the governor of California. Warren Buffett leaves the board of Coca-Cola after 19 years. Federal Reserve Chairman Bernanke says Chinese holdings of U.S. assets is not large enough to put the country at risk. That's what they said in 2006. They're not singing that tune today. Trust me. The U.S. removed the last battleship from service in March of 2006. We don't have any more battleships. No more battleships. Like, we're not going to be needing them. Okay. In June of 2006, 7 people are arrested by the FBI and accused of planning to bomb the Sears Tower. There is a liquid ban put in place by the TSA, the Transit Security Authority, Traffic, and the TSA, the one at the airport, in August of 2006, after they arrested 21 people in connection to an attempted terrorist plot. Now, that's why you can't carry liquid, and you got to have little tiny bottles now on board a plane. In that same year, smoking is banned in all of Ohio bars, restaurants, workplaces, and other public spaces, and eventually it spread across the country. The U.S. population at that time is estimated at 300 million. Nancy Pelosi is the first female Speaker of the House. In 2007, a male student kills 2 in a Virginia Tech dorm. 2 hours later, he kills 30 more people in a classroom building before taking his own life. In 2008, Obama and McCain are chosen as presidential nominees for their respective parties. Democrat for Obama and Republican for McCain. Obama becomes the first black president. He won with a 52.8% majority of the vote. The House and the Senate at that time are a Democratic majority. In 2009, President Obama signs the executive order closing all secret prisons and detention camps that are run by the CIA. And that's probably in response to Abu Ghraib. You know what I mean. In January of 2010, Elena Kagan is nominated by Obama, and she is confirmed to the U.S. Supreme Court. She's the only female justice with no prior experience as a judge. So, just so you're clear, here are the chief justices that we have seated right now. Now remember, these appointments are for life. John Roberts, Clarence Thomas, Samuel Alito, Sonia Sotomayor, Elena Kagan, Neil Gorsuch, Brett Kavanaugh, Amy Barrett, and Ketanji Jackson. Remember those names. In 2011, Gabrielle Giffords was severely wounded in an assassination attempt. Judge Roll was killed along with 5 others, and at least 13 people are wounded at an outdoor event in Tucson, Arizona. Osama bin Laden is killed. In 2012, President Barack Obama is reelected. Also, that same year, we had the Sandy Hook massacre. In 2013, the Supreme Court strikes down the Defense of Marriage Act, which had banned the recognition of same-sex marriages. They struck it down. In that same year, what are we up to? We are up to 2013. In that same year, Black Lives Matter. It's a group that emerges as a political movement, but it really did nothing for Black lives. 2014, the Republicans win the Senate. 2015, a fellow by the name of Dylan Roof. He kills 9 people at Bible study at an African American church in Charleston, South Carolina. 2016, the Pulse nightclub massacre. 49 people were killed, 53 injured, and all of these were supposedly from the LGBTQ community. 2016, Donald Trump is elected president. In January of 2017, Trump is the 45th president and the first without prior military or government experience. When he was first elected, he didn't have any of that. He was a businessman. He immediately fires FBI Director James Comey, and we have strained relations between the U.S. and North Korea, and they're escalating. Hurricanes Irma and Maria caused billions of dollars in damage and killed hundreds of people. Harvey Weinstein scandal emerges. And in 2017, Trump meets with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. Now, I'm going to stop right there, primarily because we're only up to 2017, 2018, somewhere around in there, and we got a ways to go yet, and I'll finish that up probably tomorrow, or as a short, I don't know, because I knew I wasn't going to finish this report in one setting. But in the meantime, here's another little tidbit that I read today that just had my hair on fire. This is something for you to ponder. I read today where a court in Florida ruled that Social Security benefits could be garnished for child support or alimony. OMG. Really? I thought that these earnings were protected, so I looked it up. Here's what I found. Federal income retirement funds. Federal income retirement funds are protected from commercial garnishment through the Federal Consumer Credit Protection Act. This means Social Security and other federal benefits can't be garnished by credit card companies or for medical bills or other commercial creditors. Now, here's the problem. On one hand, they're calling Social Security benefits. And on the other hand, they're calling Social Security Social Security monies earnings. But remember what I read. Only one is protected, a benefit. Think about that. Depending on how the wind blows or who's writing the report or who's making the decision, if they call Social Security benefits, it's protected and you can't touch it. They call it earnings, it goes the way of any other dollars that you make and they can be garnished. Just something to think about. We'll have to dig into that a little deeper because today now my mind is all wound up. I'm just all over the place. But here's one thing you will remember. You don't know what you don't know. All you can do this year is vote. Rock the vote. Thanks for listening.